That's why earlier I brought in history and the fact that there was a point where we weren't even allowed in education. So in terms of financially, men have already had their head start. That's why I would say that, okay, women, they tend to be homeless because men have had the head start from, that's why I'm saying our gender.
What does she mean, women, they tend to be homeless? So do men. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's more men that are homeless than women. So in the US, there are 260,284 men compared to 106,119 women. 70% followed by women 29%. What the fuck is she talking about?
Generation is going to change things a lot because in terms of women are going to be able to catch up a lot more.
Speaking to the mic.
I feel like we can't ignore history. When it comes to when you're considering the financial position of men and women, you can't ignore history.
I just get totally sick of that, when it comes to like the finances, because I've worked in jobs and I've earned the same as the men. And when they talk about all this pay gap and that the men have had it and the women have had it, as far as I'm concerned, there's no reason why a woman can't go out there and get paid the same money, same qualifications, same job, same experience. I've done it. And I've also got a pay rise every year. I've never ever worked. I had a man on the same role as me, same experience, earn more than me. And you're talking about the old generation. I'm the old generation.
In what sector is this?
But what I'm trying to say...
What sector is this?
Transport.
That's not the point. It don't matter what sector it is, to be honest. And like she just said, she's from a much older generation. I should probably understand more if she was saying it, because I know before it wasn't as easy as it is now for women. Now there really is no excuse for a woman to have the same job as a man. If she wants to go and have the same job as a man, she can go and study the same things as a man. And if she's as good as a man, she'll get the same opportunities.
Management in transport. Okay. And it doesn't matter where it is, because wherever you go, you can get paid the same.
Are these sectors that you're required to have a certain level of qualification?
Any job you can go. Any job that a man can get qualified at and get paid, a woman who is equally qualified, equally experienced, and has the same manner when it comes to working. Because that's what let women down. Their mannerisms when they go in, they either go in like, they go in too strong. But if you go in a job with the right frame of mind, and nowadays, the women are more qualified. In my generation, that's what you're going to say. The women are more qualified. In the old generation, we weren't that qualified. And the young generation, they're qualified now. So there is no reason for people to say, but the men have got it now because they've earned more. That's rubbish nowadays. Well, especially for the new generation, because it's there for you on the plate. You've got it better than us.
Yeah, so I don't understand, what does that have to do with me today? That, some women were locked out of education before I was born. How does that affect me?
Because even in these environments, let's say a woman has managed to get to, let's say, a very senior position, it's still an environment that is dominated by maleness, especially white maleness. So, for instance, if you're a white woman and you've now come into this space, you have to overcome the barrier of being a woman in a male-dominated space.
No, I don't.
So how would you...
Shut down. And her reaction.
Okay.
She was trying to lick her ass to make her agree, and she wasn't having none of it. And now she's about to destroy her.
How would you adapt?
You work hard.
Speaking to the mic.
You work hard. That's what I say. Every time someone blames their pay on the pay gap, they're lazy. Honestly, they're lazy because the pay gap doesn't exist. When you take in, this is what you don't understand. When you take into account personality differences between men and women don't ask for raises. That's the problem. 60% of women have never asked for a raise, and you're going to complain that you don't get paid the same. You don't ask for a raise.
This is what I'm saying. The environment, a man, because this is an environment that men have been in.
No, it's a choice. That's a choice.
Before women, if I personally, I would ask for a raise, but it's different because it takes confidence to ask for that. Confidence in yourself. And
but confidence has nothing to do with gender, and let's be honest, it's bullshit. You can't say in 2022 that it's a really masculine environment in every office. We're still in the 1950s or 60s, and she doesn't feel confident asking her boss for a pay rise. It's still a very masculine environment. These days, companies can't slip up. The world's too sensitive for them to do that.
If you're in an environment that wasn't even made for people like you, for some women, there would be some of the first people in that kind of environment, and they have to thrive in that. You have to overcome the barrier of having to adapt in that environment.
There are specific quotas to give women jobs over men. Men don't have any quotas, so we're giving.
They don't need it.
No, because Why do we need a quota? Or do you not think women are qualified to get the job on their own?
I didn't say that.
No, but that's what you're implying by saying we need
That's why
quotas.
I said no. That's why I said you can't ignore the history.
No,
because the reason the quotas are there
That's an excuse.
is due to the history.
That's an excuse.
I'm not saying
it's an excuse.
Okay.
Anyone can go out and get any job they want. Nothing's stopping us. There's no law stopping us. And if anything, there's incentives.
I've worked in a male-dominated environment all my life. And I can honestly say I was the only black woman supervisor, black woman manager.
props to
And
you.
it never, not props to me, it was a job. I didn't care whether I was black or not. I'm getting the money. I'm getting the same money as everybody else. To me, it didn't matter whether I was black or not. It was a job. And the men have got the job, I've got the job. They're earning the same as me. And every year I make sure I got my pay rise the way they did.
And you didn't.
And I had the same attitude.
You didn't make it a hang-up.
No. And the thing is with women, I find that when they go out, like, yes, your attitude has to change. I'm in a male environment. I'm with a load of males. So, yeah, I can hold my own. Mm-hmm. I can have a conversation. I'm going to dress feminine, but I'm going to stand my own like masculine. But you see, when I step out that house and I get home to my man, all feminine.
Oh, God.
Submissive. And that's what the women fail to realise now, the new generation, because you can go out there and you can do a job just as good as a man. And when you come home, you forget that you're a woman. You still go on like you're a man. That's what the men don't like.
Well said there at the end. I like the way she said she can be strong, independent, but also still feminine with her man. It seems like a few modern day women can get a few lessons from her today. Now, as you probably noticed throughout this video, this younger girl has been telling this older woman you can't ignore the history, while ignoring everything the old woman's been saying about her own history, which is pretty ironic. And I'd say the old woman's been pretty patient, but at this point she'd had enough. So I'm just going to give her the full stage. Take a look at this.
Everything you're insinuated, I didn't.
I'm not insinuating, I'm just saying, I'm speaking from experience, because I don't want to hear the excuse of, oh, because you're a woman, you got to go in that environment and act a certain way. Rubbish. Because of your colour, rubbish. Because of your sex, rubbish. Because of the pay, rubbish. Because I've done it. And it's the norm. I've done it. So all women need to do, if you want to get paid more, the same way how you can speak up and say, oh, I'm a woman, this and that, speak up and say, excuse me, but I'm due a pay rise. Can I have my money? This is how hard I've worked. This is what I deserve. And this is what my contract says.
Now, that's what I'm saying, that now you can do that, but it hasn't always been like that.
No, I'm older than you. I'm 53. I'm retired. So you can't say, now you can do that, because I've been doing it.
Okay, but you can't, this is what I mean, you can't ignore the history. Okay, but before you...
I'm history. I'm the history.
Now listen, that's called motherfucking bars, nigga.
I am the history. I am your history.
Are you ignoring history
I
right
am
now?
53. I am retired. I am your history. So you can't tell me to forget about the history,
And you
because
said
I am
remember
the history.
When she just started saying I am the history, I love that shit. Because she's right, she's literally living proof. She's been through it, she's done it. And now she can obviously see clearer than ever that it's even easier than it was before. Credit to her and credit to the girl on the far right as well for keeping it real. I'd like to say that girl learned something, but it seemed like she just kept arguing. I'll leave the full video link in the description. And I think if you go and watch the full episode, I think you'll all agree where she belongs.
She belongs to the streets.